third guy coming up here, Juan Pablo Montoya. Welcome, Juan. Juan is his first season with Team Penske. 7th in points right now. Every week, Juan is increasing the knowledge of what he's learning on these back in these new cars. 7 years, by the way, he's been away from open wheel racing. 7 years he was in NASCAR. So those big, heavy, 3,500-pound school buses, thanks. Okay. He's now driving these sleek rocket ships that are about 1,500 pounds. So anyway, welcome guys, and I'll give him the microphone over here to Juan. But let me start with Juan. Okay. Juan, as I mentioned, 7 years away from open wheel racing. Actually, Juan had raced here in Houston before, 1999 and 2000. Yeah. You won the pole in 1999, if I recall, and second place in 2000. Yeah. So he's familiar with the city. Different racetrack, different points.
Actually, in 99, I was leading and Elliot crashed, and they never told me. Like, I saw standing yellow, and I thought it was a caution, and I actually ran into Elliot.
Oh, is that right?
I'm sorry, I was in the wall, and I didn't have a place to go, and they hit me on the back.
And, you know, something that used to happen, the pits were open. So if you had a car crashed and the yellow came out, you had to keep running hard until the pits to make a decision. And he just crashed in the corner after the pits. So I went hard into the last corner, and all the track is yellow because the yellow's out. And I turned, and they never told me. I'm like, oh, boom. So bounced into Elliot.
He didn't like me then.
I don't like you now. Don't worry.
Now he has to live with me, actually.
You know, Juan, talk about the transition. I mean, 7 years away, and of course, Juan raced in Formula One and won a lot of great races there. Won the Indy 500, by the way, also when he was racing in the open wheel series here in the U.S. And is now his first year with Team Penske after 7 years away from this sport with the NASCAR series. Talk about the transition, talk about the learning, talk about the difficulty and the curve that you've been on for the last few months.
It's been pretty hard. It's been a lot of fun. It's been exciting to be here. I mean, it's actually, when you think about racing and you have the chance to run for Team Penske, it doesn't really come any better than that. The history, what they achieved, what Roger represents, I think it's unbelievable. And have partners like you guys to support the team, it's incredible. So it's been a weird transition. I was, normally my strength always was the street courses, and I think that's been the hardest thing so far. And I think one of the reasons it's been the hardest is because to get the car right, it takes a lot. I think it's a tough process. I'll give you an example. Like today, we started and we had a little bit of braking issues. It was like when I was getting on the brakes, the car was going to the right. I was like, oh. So you're trying to learn the track, you're trying to keep it up the wall, and when you're trying to keep it up the wall, you're not going fast. I mean, honestly, if you're not going and you go in every exit, like you gotta kind of move your shoulder to make sure you fit in. Then when you get to the point, you're going, okay, now I'm starting to get it. Yeah, because when it's comfortable, anybody can do it. And these guys have done it enough, and they've been here, like they raced here last year, so they know the track a lot better. They know what curve to use, where to go. So you're always a little bit behind. You know, they're really good teammates, so you can ask them a lot of questions between practice. So we have a really good relationship, and that makes a lot of difference. Like for me personally, it helps a lot. Because I finished, I'll give you an example. They said last year that you had to use a lot of curves initially because there was a lot of grip on the curves. And we walked around, there was a lot of grip on the curves, so I was doing that, thinking, okay, that's what I need to do. And the first practice we really struggled, so I went back and I asked, Will, are you using the curves only in the first corner? I'm like, oh, there you go. So, like, initially, like, for the second practice, I know exactly, I need to stay off the curves, I need to do this, and we changed the car, made it a lot better. So, you know, it's normal when you go to a new track that you haven't been to be a little bit behind as the weekend, and as the weekend goes on, you get better. The other hard thing is, being a doubleheader, like normally you would have another practice tomorrow, you had time to adjust again, and then you had qualifying in the afternoon. Now we got straight to qualifying. So we run 15 time laps today and straight into qualifying. So it makes it a little bit hard, but that's what it is.
Thank you, Juan.
Las impresiones de Juan Pablo Montoya en su regreso a la Indy Series con Team Penske y en el Gran Premio de Houston en el doblete, la doble jornada de fin de semana. Juan Pablo Montoya tuvo su mejor resultado de la temporada, un segundo lugar detrás de Carlos Huertas, otro colombiano, y también de Carlos Muñoz, así que un triplete de colombianos ahí en el Gran Premio de Houston patrocinado por Shell y Pennzoil Oils. Así que ya regresamos, esto es Auto 060, yo soy Javier Mota.